Good evening and welcome back to another adventure with the Dominion Energy Virtual Jazz Café from the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. Thanks to the Richmond Jazz Society, as always, for helping us to support such a wonderful evening of programming. We bring to you, of course, another evening of incredible jazz, and I would say settle in to an evening straight out of an American songbook, covered in layers of jazz, blues, a little bit of bebop to start. I hope you're ready to move. I hope you're ready to sink in and relax, because we're going to do all of it together tonight. Without further ado from me, I'd like to welcome Stephanie Nakasian to the stage and the Stephanie Nakasian Trio.
Today I may not have a thing at all, except for just a dream or two. But I've got lots of dreams for tomorrow, and all my tomorrows belong to you. Right now, it may not seem like spring at all. We're drifting and the laughs are few. But I've got lots of plans for tomorrow, and all my tomorrows belong to you. No one knows better than I that luck keeps passing me by. That's fate. But with you there at my side, I'll soon be turning the tide. Just wait. As long as I've got arms that cling at all, it's you that I'll be clinging to. And all the dreams I dream, beg or borrow, on some bright tomorrow, they'll all come true. And all my bright tomorrows belong to you. Tomorrow, tomorrow, oh, tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's another day, and fortune may come your way. A thought of relief to chase away your grief. Tomorrow's another day. Those skies above are gray, you know they won't stay that way. A shoulder to cry on, someone to rely on. Tomorrow's another day. How strange the pain that fills your heart, how dark the future seems. Tomorrow is another day that's filled with hopes and dreams. Though you're looking through your tears and dreams seem far away, maybe you're mistaken, change is in the making. Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow, how strange the pain that fills your heart, how dark the future seems. Tomorrow is another day that's filled with hopes and dreams. Though you're you're looking through your tears and dreams seem far away. Maybe you're mistaken, changes in the making, tomorrow's another day. Maybe you're mistaken, changes in the making, tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow, tomorrow, ba-da-ba-do-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba, tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Hi, everyone out there. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing okay in this time. I'm Stephanie Nakasian. I've been teaching virtually at UVA and William & Mary, and happy to be here with you today, and want to introduce my amazing ensemble. At the piano, a gentleman who I've known many, many years, who teaches at the College of William & Mary as well. He lives right here in Richmond, and he's a favorite amongst all musicians here, and he's just a wonderful pianist and person, Eric Lyttle at the piano. They're applauding out there, I can hear it. And at the bass, a gentleman who spent the last 38 years, yes, he was one when he had the gig, started the gig at the Homestead Resort in Hot Springs. And he was head of the band and ran all kinds of events for them and arranged for the singers and et cetera for 38 years. Now that they have changed their plan, he's free to freelance around, and luckily, I grabbed him up right away. And he's a wonderful bass player. He actually has a PhD, but we don't talk about that because that's too elitist. No, Karl is an amazing bass player, and he's originally from the Bronx, and now he's from Hot Springs, Virginia. Karl Kimmel at the bass. Okay, we're going to continue with a fun song that I changed the lyrics a little bit. Hope you enjoy. I'm so tired of being all penned in. Don't get up till 10, then watch CNN. Back to bed, up at noon, and then, well, I watch CNN again. Well, at times like this, a change must be made. I've stayed in one place much too long, I'm afraid. Try something new, a change of scene. What I really need is COVID vaccine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, let's take a boat to Bermuda. Oh, but let's take a train to St. Paul. Let's take a kayak to Quincy or Nyack. Let's get away from it all. Let's take a trip in a trailer. Oh, no need to come back at all. Let's take a powder to Boston for chowder. Let's get away from it all. Ooh, we'll travel round from town to town. We'll visit every state. And I'll repeat, I love you, sweet. Baby, won't it be great? Let's go again to Niagara. Oh, but this time we'll look at the fall. Let's leave our hut, dear. Get out of our rut, dear. Let's get away from it all. Boo 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 ba doo 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 day. Blue doo ba doo ba doo ba doo doo day. Blue doo doo la doo la doo la day. Blue doo ba blue doo 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 day. Blue doo ba doo ba 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 doo doo ba boo ba baby blue doo ba blue doo ba doo 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 boo ba doo ba doo doo doo. every state. And I'll repeat, I love you, sweet baby, won't it be great? Oh, let's go again to Niagara, but this time we'll look at the fall. Let's leave our hut, dear, get out of our rut, dear. Let's get away from it all. Give me that COVID vaccine, please. I gotta get out of here. All right, great song. I heard Jackie and Roy record that. We're going to continue with a beautiful, like light Latin bossa type of a song, kind of a rumba actually. It was recorded to perfection by the great Johnny Hartman with John Coltrane. It's called Autumn Serenade. Through the trees comes autumn with her serenade. Melodies, the sweetest music ever played. Autumn kisses we knew are beautiful souvenirs. And I pause to recall the leaves seem to fall like tears. Silver stars were painted on an autumn sky. Love was ours until October wandered by. Let the years come and go, I'll still feel the glow. The time cannot fade when I hear that lovely autumn serenade. Stars were painted on an autumn sky. Love was ours until October wandered by. Let the years come and go, I'll still feel the glow. The time cannot fade when I hear that lovely autumn serenade. Serenade of autumn, serenade of autumn, serenade. Right. Clap, 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 clap. What is it that we're waiting for? Applause, applause. We used to have these boxes when I was growing up that you would lift the box and it would go, "You're the greatest, yeah, woohoo!" I think we need those again. But I hope you're enjoying it, everybody out there. Well, we're going to continue with the standardest of standards of this season, one of the most beautiful songs ever, Autumn Leaves. But I miss you most of all. The falling leaves drift by my window, the autumn leaves of red and gold. I see your lips and the summer kisses and that sunburned hand that I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear a hot winter song. Oh, but I miss you most of all, my darling. When those autumn leaves stop to
sunburned hand I used to hold. But since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I hear old winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when those autumn leaves start to fall. When those autumn leaves, oh, those autumn leaves, when those autumn leaves start to fall.
We'd like to continue with a beautiful song written by Barry Manilow.
And when October goes, the snow begins to fly above the snowy roofs. I watch the planes go by, the children running home beneath a twilight sky. Oh, for the fun of them, when I was one of them. And when October goes, the same old dream appears, and I am in your arms. We share the happy years. I turn my head away to hide my helpless tears. Oh, how I hate to see October go. And when October goes, the same old dream appears, and you are in my arms. We share the happy years. I turn my head away to hide my helpless tears. Oh, how I hate to see October go.
I like that song. Okay, we're going to do another one that is written by Dave Frischberg. Dave Frischberg is one of our kind of cult figures in jazz and cabaret, and he wrote songs like Blizzard of Lies and Dodger Blue, which has all the names of baseball players in it. I always get a request once in a while for that song. I'm saying, I can't remember all those names. This is called Let's Eat Home, which I know we've all been doing a lot of that lately. For those of us who are on the road all the time, it's not so bad. Okay. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
I like to stroll on the Costa del Sol at sunrise, and to me Waikiki is the place to be, speaking
dine in a Florentine palazzo. You can laugh and call me fatso, well, that's okay by me. I like to stick with the first class ticket buyers, setting trends with my trend-setting friends, the frequent flyers. I like to shop on the Champs-Élysées, eat Korean or Bombay, and spend New Year's Eve in either Tel Aviv or Rome. But if it's all the same to you, let's eat home. I like to lunch with the bunch in old Savannah. I know a swell motel in Kalispell, Montana. I like to eat in my suite at the Savoy Plaza, and I know a bar in Gaza where they serve goatlet tea. But if it's all the same to you, let's eat home.
Oh, thank you, Stephanie and gentlemen, for that first set. I've been back here just dancing, and I can't wait to hear set two. But before then, I'd love to give your types a little rest. Would you join me for a cup of tea and a little conversation while the guys bring?
I'd be delighted.
Just this way, Stephanie.
We'll be back.
All right, that's it. Stephanie, thank you so much for that first half.
Thank you.
I hope you can see me back in this empty crowd all by myself.
I was singing to you.
I could feel it. I say to my my guests sometimes, and tonight is true of that as well. It took everything I had not to grab a microphone and join you a couple of times.
Oh, now you tell me.
I mean, next time you come, you give me a call. I'll see if I can live up to your pipes. But
Oh, wow, I'd love to hear it.
well, I love it. Before we get into the conversation, Stephanie, would you like to take a moment to tell this audience a little bit more about yourself, if we don't know already?
About me.
Yeah.
Well, my parents came down from New York in the 70s, and then I moved here in 94 and to Charlottesville. And my first teaching gig was here in Richmond at VCU, and had a wonderful time teaching and playing gigs with Bob Hallahan, all the guys around here. We played a club called Casablanca, and it was so much fun. And we had a ball. Benjamin's and all the great clubs around here. So we had a ball. And Richmond has always been a fabulous jazz audience, and the Richmond Jazz Society does so much to support jazz in the community. So we've had a long relationship. My late husband and I, Hod O'Brien, had a long relationship with Richmond and activities here. So when we moved back here in '94, our daughter was born, and started teaching at UVA and William and Mary as well. And we always toured. This was always our base, Virginia. And I don't know, I made 14 albums. Oh yeah, the albums. 14 albums and written 3 books. And this is pretty much a base of operations, and then tour up and down the East Coast and some West Coast and Europe and Japan in the days of touring, when we were touring. Russia even 3 times, and lots of cruise ships and things like that. So, but it's always nice to come home to Virginia, and I don't know what else to say. There's touring and teaching and writing, and now a lot of, thank goodness for the teaching, because we don't have so much of the touring. But
well, it's been a joy to have you here in Richmond with us tonight on this program. And I want to get into your teaching. I'm eager to learn more about your students and your experience there. I taught a little myself, but found I was more useful in other ways. Before you get there, however, how do you start or first begin your journey into music, and also how do you find jazz as a whole?
Well, it came in a funny way to me, because I have an MBA from Northwestern in business and finance, and I was working on Wall Street in my 20s and met a piano player named Hod O'Brien, who was one of the great bebop guys, and fell in love with him. And next thing you know, I'm quitting my job on Wall Street, leaving my MBA behind. My father's going, you're going to be disinherited.
No.
All my friends are saying, what, are you crazy?
and just following my dream. And I thought I would do it for a couple of years, and if it didn't work out, I'd go back to the business world, and never looked back. And we were together 38 years. He passed away 4 years ago at 80, and we had a wonderful life together. And as I say, we have a wonderful daughter too. So that's how I got into jazz, was through him. And I'd always had music, piano lessons, violin lessons,
Right.
choirs, and all that. But jazz was pretty new to me in my 20s. And I mean, the songbook I knew. I knew Rodgers and Hart, Rodgers and Hammerstein from theater and from just songs that you know. But I didn't know this great swinging and bebop stuff, and that was an eye opener for me, because it was not only great music, but it had the improvisational element as well to it.
Well, it comes out of you as if it's buried inside of you. So it's
It probably is.
it
in there somewhere.
delights me and shocks me all at once to learn that, wow, it wasn't until your 20s that you began to experiment with these ideas and these skills and these tools. So what were you learning how to do before then in music? You mentioned
Well, I had classical piano since 4 and classical violin since 8 and, choirs, lots of music background. But the singing was just for fun with my girlfriends around the piano, and I'd always sing the harmony parts, Those were the days of, the Carpenters and the Doors and the Beatles and the, Tina Turner and, the early days when you just sing along with the records and the radio. And so I always had music, but I never thought of doing it professionally. And then it happens.
When you begin teaching, we've just learned that you hadn't spent a lot of time looking into jazz in your earliest years. When you move into teaching, you've now got skill from your childhood and from your youth. You've discovered jazz. I imagine you're teaching after you've discovered jazz because you're leaving Wall Street.
Oh, yeah.
Which, man, I could talk to you all night about that.
Let's not.
I don't know anything about it. There's so many questions I immediately have. But as you're teaching, how long does it take, or are you immediately able to teach these things of jazz?
It's a really good question. I don't know how I stumbled. Life is funny.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be a jazz singer. I didn't expect to be a teacher. I didn't expect to write books. I wasn't sure I would be a mother. I did that at 39. So you just follow the pathway that sort of, I feel like it's sort of rolled out a little bit ahead of me, and you pay attention to the signals. But the teaching was very rewarding for me to do, and it was helping me to, I wasn't trained in music in school because I was taking economics, and so what I pass on to students is just what I learned in New York, studying with a great voice teacher and singing with Jon Hendricks for 2 years, and singing with the great bebop people in New York and around the world that I learned about rhythm and phrasing and improvisation, and then I made the rest up. I made up the methodology, and I saw what worked, and started out by teaching jazz, and then I started really helping students to open up their voices so they just sing freely, which is what you need to do anyway. So that's where, my first book was a jazz book called It's Not on the Page, because through the Virginia Commission for the Arts, I've been touring a lot at schools, and the choir directors would read, The Fever or something. They'd read Never Know How Much I Love You. They'd read it on the page, and it wouldn't come out very swinging. So they'd call me in and say, help us, our choir needs to learn to swing. And I'd say, well, quarter notes aren't quarter notes, eighth notes aren't really eighth notes. And so I wrote that in a book. And then I did a second book on the vocal exercises that I was teaching. And that's called You Already Know How to Sing. Every time I say that to people, they go, "Oh, not me, not me." But singing is pretty easy. I have no idea how that happens, but you can train the ear. But the singing part of it's opening up.
There's something mystifying about that. I used to teach myself, and one of the greatest lessons that I taught, but only because it's what was taught to me, was my mother used to tell me, find the right muscle, find the mechanism. She would have me singing along with the violin line or the clarinet or the horns. And that, I don't know, that was invaluable. It wasn't about a book or a PhD somewhere with.
Would help you hear, open your ears.
Yes,
Well, that's what mostly I think I do as a teacher, is help the students hear the music, and also hear inside themselves what they want to sing and who they are and what they want to express. So I like that work. That's really good work. And it's hard right now with these kids.
I imagine.
They're struggling, so.
Tell me about these albums, the 14 albums.
At least.
Yeah. Tell me about some of those great memories, some of the greats you worked with on those albums. We're experiencing some of those tunes here tonight. But I'm
Well,
sure you've got some stories about those studios.
Well, don't get into all of it, but my first album I did because I was living in the Poconos with Hod, and the Poconos in Pennsylvania is a beautiful area full of jazz people. It had Al Cohn and Irby Green and Kim Parker, who's Charlie Parker's daughter, and Chan, and I mean, it's so many people, and Phil Woods and Bob Doro, and so when we lived there, Phil Woods was probably the heir apparent to Charlie Parker, the greatest sax player, alto sax, and his wife Jill said, "You should record," and Bill Goodwin, who's his drummer, said, "You got to record now. You've been long enough on the scene." So I said, "Okay," and so Phil played on my record. So we had these amazing musicians from New York play on it, and yeah, that's how I learned from doing that. So I've had wonderful experiences in recording and touring, and taught me a lot.
What a time to be in music and a time to be in New York, near the Poconos,
Yeah.
to meet great musicians like this and to record. I want to learn, I'm interested in influences of yours. I ask you that because I've got to say to you off camera, there's a little secret here, we do some off camera stuff, audience at home. I'd said to you a little bit off camera, I'm amazed listening to the way you approach a phrase, land on a note, whether it's high or low, heavy or not, and just barely touch and fall off of it. Is that something that you were taught? Is that something you were trying to mimic when you heard it, or is that just come out of your heart?
I think you hear it. I don't think it happens consciously. I really think jazz singers, we tend to emulate the horns. So if you hear a horn going, it's a horn-like phrasing, and of course the horns are kind of imitating the moaning and the groaning of the singer. So it's a mutually respectful situation. But when I was working with Jon Hendricks, he taught me a lot about how to hear the horn sounds and the horn phrasings, and just hanging around great musicians does that. Really opens your ears to that. So that's how it happens. I don't really, everything else is letting it go and being free to experiment and try things. Some work better than others, and jazz people transcribe solos so that we learn some of the language of whatever you like to listen to. For me, it's bebop for sure, Ella Fitzgerald, but playing with people like when I sang with Bernard Harper and just recently with Quentin Baxter, amazing drummers. I learn more rhythm by listening to them. When I sing in Richmond with, Jason Jenkins and Michael Hawkins, I mean, great bass players. And, Weldon and all these guys and Sax Mo. I mean, you have fantastic musicians here. So those are all experiences that you get better because you're singing with, great people. So it's a trading experience.
What does it feel like, Stephanie, when I ask because I'm looking forward to the day when I get to stand next to someone and sing a little something maybe they learned by the time they walk away? What does that feel like to you when you know somebody that you're working with is better for having worked with you? Don't tell me it hasn't happened. I know.
No. That's why I teach, because
Yes.
someone says thank you. I mean, that's why I sing, because someone does this and say thank you. So if I were doing it and someone was going, or they weren't giving me good evaluations, I would say that maybe that's not my strength or whatever. But as long as I get the green light that it's beneficial, I'll keep doing it. And sometimes my students will call me on things. I'll have an approach and they'll say, teacher, that's not really working so well for me, so I'll try something else. So you have to be flexible, to do that.
And that's important. I think my greatest teachers were the ones that taught me, but also let me tell them what I needed to learn.
Yeah,
or what
I
was
learn from my
forward.
students for sure. That's, we learn from each other. It's great.
Who's this lady?
So my daughter Veronica, we started recording her at 9 and 11 and 13 and 20, and then she got a full scholarship, etc. I won't go on too much. I'll try to control myself. But she is on the cover of Downbeat this month, and it's exciting. It's Veronica Swift, and so it's been fun to be part of that. Talk about enjoying watching somebody learn from you, and she's very gracious about thanking me and my husband for dragging her to all the gigs. So that is very, very wonderful. It really
Clearly
is.
picked up from roots dug deep by mom and dad, and the fruit is impressive.
Yeah, she's a very. It's wonderful to watch her joy in the music. She gets, you want to get music for the right reasons. It's not like, oh, I'm going to be famous and make a lot of money. It's about expressing yourself, and she does it so beautifully and very generously with her musicians and with the audience. There's a lot of love in it, and I think she's this new album is about This Bitter Earth, which was a Dinah Washington recording, and it's a little on the more. A little on the dark side, but I'm always singing optimistic songs. And she says, "Mom, you're always optimistic." And I said, "I'm sorry, but that's the way I'm used to it." And she says, "You have to embrace some of the dark side. You have to understand some of that, you know." So she's probably right, but she teaches me.
Sounds like the relationship between mom and daughter is both as student and as partner.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we learn from our children. It's painful sometimes.
I hope I have things to teach, but my parents are full of wisdom, as I'm sure your daughter feels the same about you.
Well, we have a nice relationship, and yeah, I'm glad she's in my life. She's the best. So thank you for letting me brag about her.
Absolutely. I mean,
and she's done some concerts for the Richmond Jazz Society too.
And with you, you've performed
Oh
together.
yeah. When we can, we like to do that together.
I know that you have, more than I, had the opportunity, the magical opportunity to perform in another place recently. What is it like in today's world, traveling to perform a gig someplace farther than maybe is comfortable?
Well, we did the Savannah Jazz Festival, and it was so brilliantly produced. You know, it was so careful, and you know, you were escorted here and there and masked everywhere, and there was a big space, and there were very few people in the actual audience, but enough so that we got a little bit of feedback, but it was broadcast, you know, which was nice. And the people in Savannah are beautiful, so I may go down there and visit, even in the midst of this Georgia recount, where I think everyone's going to Georgia for the next couple of months. But
seems like they're busy doing one thing. There should be plenty of restaurants.
I'll have to come up with some recount songs.
Oh, that's another thing I want to talk to you about. Oh, I've been enjoying. Sometimes in jazz music, like Al Jarreau is a good example, right? We write words to fit music, and you are no different. I mean, we're getting to experience some of your mind at work on the page. Any particular process you go through when you're trying to come up with these words, or you're just letting you come out on the paper?
I think that's hard, much harder than scat singing, coming up with lyrics. I did it for Pen Up House, and I've done it for a few songs, and when I do Footprints in the next set, you'll hear it's actually an improvised melody, but the words I wrote before. So it's a different approach than just singing something that's written. But no, I think writing lyrics is very hard. It has to fit the melody line, it has to fit the harmony, it has to fit the whole movement, it has to rhyme, it has to.
I find that no matter how much I have what to say, what I want to say, this song is going to tell me how to say it. And,
that's a good point.
You got to put it the way it tells you to put it.
Yep.
I mean, and you're a master of it. I'm sitting here thinking this woman, this musician, this artist, this soul, sitting on stage across from me right now is a true master of this craft.
Thank you.
I mean that.
Oh, I feel like I'm just beginning to learn about people and myself and letting go. And you know, I teach a lot of I call them bops, bolder, older people who have already had children, already had their careers and families, and then they're in their 60s and 70s and say, "Oh, I'm going to sing, you know, I'm just going to start singing." So it's wonderful to see what happens. There's the confidence there. There's like, I don't care if I make a mistake. I'm not scared of anything. And so there's this wonderful boldness. And so the last book I wrote, the recent one, is all stories about people's transformations that happened from taking voice lessons and just from singing. You get in there and you kind of pry open some locked places of not self-confidence, and then little by little, life changes. You know, things change and shifts for you because you're claiming your own voice. So I wrote some of the stories down. So
it's that vulnerability, I think, that I feel when I'm on stage.
Yeah.
And that I feel from other people when they're on stage. It really makes me engage with them when I can feel what they're feeling.
Singing's,
I don't know. I want to know that. I want to experience.
Well, singing's pretty naked feeling. Yeah. I mean, it's why I think we mask it with copying people and trying to sing like somebody else. But it's beautiful to hear. I just had a student yesterday who has been copying some pop singers, and his voice was not really open. And yesterday he just started. He had this gorgeous baritone voice come out, and I was like, wow. I said, what did you think of that? He says, well, that was much easier. And I said, yeah, because you're releasing a natural voice. It was beautiful. I love that.
Pick your spots.
Yeah.
Find what you're good at and do that.
Yeah, we're always looking for it anyway.
There you go.
Ongoing process.
I'm with you. As an artist, as a person, I think I'm good at lots of stuff. And if I'm not good at that, somebody else is. Just let them do it. I'll do the one I can do.
Well, but you never know what that,
Agreed.
as I say, I was going to be an economist, and I was good at that, and made money on Wall Street, and then jazz pulled me because it was something more intimate and more, and I love the interaction with the audience and people, and then next thing you know, I'm teaching. I mean, I would never have figured this out ahead
Wild
of time.
road.
It's wild. So I still think I have a bit of a ride to go. I know I'm a bolder, older person, but I feel like I'm starting new, in my life, and starting to include some songs from the 60s and 70s, which jazz people never used to do. We used to be kind of snobby about that.
We're bold now, remember.
We are. But also the music it's okay to be out of your genre. And when I was coming up in the 80s, you would never, nobody would do that,
Too
And then
fresh.
Wynton started to, cross genres with classical and jazz, and then, there was a lot more of it. So it's good. The world music and the pop music and funk and fusion, and it's all coming in there. It's good.
Something beautiful happens when we take a different perspective and try to make something else out of it.
Yeah, and a statement from today, too. So,
Absolutely.
That's what I like watching about Veronica, because she's not singing just an old song the way it was sung in 1930. She's making it fresh again, like from her generation's point of view, which is very different even from my generation's point of view. So it's fun to watch.
Well, Stephanie, I could chat with you all night. Seriously, the next time we get a chance to talk, I want to learn more about this Wall Street secret that I'm just coming at. How do you get to here, and how does that all blend? So many questions, but I've got to hear you sing some more tunes, and I know the folks at home are eager for some more music. Do you mind giving us another couple?
I would love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
so
including
much.
us, and we appreciate being here.
I can't wait to have you back. I'll let
Thank
you
you
take
to
the
your audience.
stage, and I'll shut up.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you.
Welcome back. We take you on a trip now to Wayne Shorter and Footprints. Gone is the summer, and with it went my lover. It's over forever. Gone are the evenings we spent with one another, walking by the water together. Gone are the footprints you made in the sand and my soul. Do you remember the whisper of the breezes? So fragile, so fleeting. Do you remember the pounding of the waves, the sound of your heart beating, your breathing, stuck in September, surrounded by silence, alone? I'm walking on the beach in the daytime, counting the grains of sand. I'm breathing with the tides of the sea, hoping you'll come back to me. With each ebb and flow, I try to learn, even if you go, will you return? The bitter sand, the stinging sand, I try to hold on, but the grains of sand slip through my hand. How the sea can turn so angry, blue can turn to gray. Once we made footprints, how could we know they'd be washed away, washed away? Summer's the season for sunny days and smiling and swimming and sailing. Autumn's the season for solitude and sorrow, sighing and surviving till tomorrow. Soon on the snow-covered shores there'll be footprints, but none of them yours.
All right, Wayne Shorter. Well, we hope you're enjoying the concert. I'm Stephanie Nakasian from New York, but actually from Charlottesville. I teach at University of Virginia at the College of William and Mary. I guess we probably talk about that in interviews. And we have at the piano one of the great pianists here in Virginia, and he's right here in Richmond, Eric Lyttle. And at the bass, a gentleman originally from the Bronx and now hails from Hot Springs, Virginia, Karl Kimmel. So we're happy to be with you. We're going to continue with a funky version of Lover Man. We performed this recently at the Savannah Safe Jazz Festival, which was a wonderful experience. It was a gigantic tent with very few people in it, but it was televised. So it was a lot of fun, great musicians down there. So here's Lover Man. I don't know why, but I'm feeling so sad. I long to try something I've never had. Well, I've never had no kissing. What I've been missing. Lover man, where can you be? Oh, the night is cold and I'm so all alone. I'd give my soul just to call you my own. Well, got a moon above me, oh, but no man to love me. Oh, lover man, where can you be? Well, I've heard it said that the thrill of romance, it can be like a heavenly dream. Oh, but I go to bed with just a prayer that you'll make love to me, strange as it seems. Someday we'll meet and you'll dry my tears, and you'll whisper sweet little things in my ears. We'll be hugging and kissing, oh baby, what I've been missing. Lover man, where can you be?
tears. Then you whisper sweet little things in my ears. We'll be hugging and kissing. Oh, oh, baby, what I've been missing. Lover man, oh, where can you be? Yeah, lover man, where can you be? Yeah, lover man, where can you be? Oh, where can you be, where can you be? Where can you be? Where can you be? Where can you be? Oh, where can you be? Thank you, Karl. Okay. I'm going to continue with a beautiful arrangement of The Very Thought of You. The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary things that everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of daydream. I'm happy as a king and foolish, oh, that may seem to me it's everything. The mere idea of you, that longing here for you, you'll never know how slow those moments go till I'm near to you. I see your face in every flower, your eyes in stars above. It's just the thought of you, the very thought of you, my love. face It's just the thought of you, the very thought of you, my love, my
We'd like to continue with a great song by Sonny Rollins, a bebop classic called Pent Up House, since we're all pent up in our houses. And this is a lyric I wrote. It's on my second album. I don't know, that was 12 albums ago, so it was a little while ago. But it's called Pent Up House. Hope you enjoy. You know you really ought to get up, get out, get up, get out, get up, get out of bed. You know you really ought to try something new. It's up to you if you would use your head. Gotta practice and turn off the TV, no DVD, making you dumb. Go get some class, try going out, go see a show, go hear some jazz. You know you're really getting stupid and dumb, lazy and dumb, all in this pent up house. Know the world is waiting outside your door. Go and explore and get to know your spouse. Conversation happens all over town. Don't get so down, talking is cheap. Go pay the price, your luck will change with just a quick roll of the dice. You really ought to get up, get out, get up, get out, get up, get out of bed. You know you really ought to try something new. It's up to you if you would use your head. Gotta practice and turn off the TV, no DVD, making you dumb. Go get some class, try going out, go see a show, go hear some jazz. Hi, we're going to continue again with a song from my childhood. Seems to be very relevant again as we all get together and love each other and make this world a better place. So I hope you enjoy this next song.
The road is long with many a winding turn that leads us to who knows where, who knows where. But I'm strong enough to carry him, oh yes, 'cause he ain't heavy. He's my brother. So on we go. His welfare is my concern. No burden is he to bear. We'll get there. For I know he would not encumber me. No. For he ain't heavy. He's my brother. And if I'm laden and all, I'm laden with sadness that everyone's heart isn't filled He's my brother. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, she's my sister. Yeah. Oh, he's my brother.
Thank you again for joining us. We wish you all the best, and hang in there with everybody. Reach out to your friends and family and support each other, and we'll get through all of this. So here's a song I recorded with the Danish radio big band many years ago, and it seems to be relevant again. Hope you enjoy it, and again, thanks to Eric Lyttle and Karl Kimmel, and thank you to the Richmond Jazz Society. Thank you to the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts so much for presenting this, and we hope to do this live in this beautiful theater sometime soon. Here we go. Price is getting steeper, money's getting cheaper. He found himself a woman, but he couldn't keep her, 'cause times are getting tougher than tough. Yeah, baby, things are getting rougher than rough. I work so hard for my money, I keep on spending the stuff. Pork chops on the market, asked the butcher for a pound. I couldn't buy a pork chop when I laid my money down. Times are getting tougher than tough. Yeah, things are getting rougher than rough. I work so hard for my money, now I can't find the stuff. Yeah, oh, we got COVID on the left, COVID on the right, COVID anywhere, no scurry in sight. Times getting tougher than tough. Things are getting rougher than rough. I work so hard for my money, I keep on spending the stuff. I said, well, I can't afford to live, I guess I ought to try. I asked the undertaker and I can't afford to die. Times are getting rougher than rough. Yeah, things are getting tougher than tough. I work so hard for my money, I keep on spending the stuff. Yeah, times are getting tougher than tough. Yeah, things are getting rougher than rough. Oh, times are getting tougher. Things are getting rougher. Times are getting tougher than tough. I work so hard for my money, keep on spending the stuff. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, Stephanie. Oh, I partied. Brothers and sisters, as she called us all tonight. Times are getting tough. Things are getting a little rough, and they've been for a while, but didn't we party tonight?
Yeah.
Didn't we love tonight?
Beautiful.
Oh, I can't wait for the next one. Oh, I mean, how could I not? And Stephanie, we definitely have got to have you back for a live event in this space, on this stage. Oh, I'm wore out. I'm wore out. Gentlemen, thank you behind me. Stephanie, again, thank you. All of you at home, sitting on your couches, this has been our Dominion Energy Virtual Jazz Cafe. Thank you for loving with us. Thank you for listening to us, and thank you for learning from us. From the stage at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, with the help of the Richmond Jazz Society, this has been our Dominion Energy Jazz Cafe. I'm Robert Fennard. Good night.